YouTube, welcome back to My Daily. Like and subscribe. I'm bald now. I have a question.
Oh my god.
I imagine your guys' is like, this is like such a, I'm a viewer. I imagine your guys' fights behind the scene to be so like healthy because you're both just very smart and mature. Like, do you ever get tired of not being toxic? Do you ever just want to be like immature and like pout and just be toxic or say some shit? Yes? Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know.
They're definitely, oh my god, yeah. Because like my instincts have always, like, I grew up in like kind of like a yeller kind of house where like you yell, you throw things like benignly, not like at somebody, but like to make your point, you know. So I definitely had to like consciously be like, no, we're gonna talk it out. We're not gonna do all that.
That's interesting. Matt grew up in that kind of house too.
I'm definitely a yeller as well.
I grew up in the quietest house ever. No throwing, no.
Yeah, his family style is very avoidant. Like we just don't talk about it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But he's frustrating in that he's like always so help me understand why you feel like, why would you feel this way? Why wouldn't you speak up? Tell me why you feel like you can't say these things to me. Like, you know, and I'm like, can you just stop being so understanding? Can you let me just yell, please?
That's what I was thinking about today. I was like, damn, I wonder what their fights are like and if she ever gets like sick of the healthy.
Oh, I do. I'm like, you're not you'll start like asking questions. I'm like, why do you think? And I don't know. We do these like I know where he's going. I'm like, I'm not answering any more of your questions. We're done. We're done with all of the feelings. This is what I need from you. He's like, okay.
I think this is a fun question for everyone. But what was the last fight you got into? I have to think.
I can think of one coming up because I'm like, where's my margarita?
I love that.
It's like the one night.
It's like the one thing you asked him for.
Yeah. Our last fight, and it wasn't even a fight, but it would have normally been more of a thing where he's like, I just need to understand. You say that you're not gonna drink, but yet here you are. Because I told him I was gonna like not drink for a month to like try to get in shape and all this stuff, and he kind of keeps calling me out in this like very passive way where he's like, help me understand what's going on with this. And I'm like,
damn it.
I said I wasn't going to drink, but I want to drink. Like, that's what's happening. Why is this so hard for you? Like, come on. And then I don't know. And probably him like constantly going out for like a Whataburger or whatever. And I'm like, don't get me anything. Don't get me anything. And he's like, I got you something. I'm like, what are you trying to
What
do?
a bad guy.
I'd be the opposite. I'd be like, don't get me anything. And then if he gets home, I'll be like, you didn't get me anything?
So I used to do that. And he's like, I got you something because if I hadn't got you something, but I'm like, no, I want you to not get me something so that way I can have just some of yours. And that way, like you're coming out net negative instead of me. But now I'm coming out net negative. So don't like it.
I definitely can't see that from their perspective though, because I'm always like, no, don't get me anything. And then I eat his fries and I would be so fucking pissed if I was the one who got that food and then I would eat some of theirs instead. I can definitely see that. But we all know here that whenever you eat from someone else's food, the calories doesn't count. So it's not on the menu, so it doesn't count, and you can just pretend like it didn't happen and you'll feel a lot better. So yes.
So now he does this thing where he's like, I didn't get you anything. I just got myself 2 things of fries. And I'm like, quit trying to outsmart the system. So annoying.
I'm trying to think of the last fight we had. I don't know.
So funny.
We usually just always fight about Norway. Because I'm from Norway, and I'm very, very, very tied to my family in Norway. Like, I literally left them when I was, like, 19 years old. I was still, like, seeing my mom every single day. And it's like you're going on, like, a trip, and then you just, like, never return. So I'm super homesick still, even though I'm 25. And we're always just fighting about it all the time. Because I just don't see myself living in America for the rest of my life, and I don't I think I've been here too long already. I'm gonna be honest. I miss my family a lot, so that's always what we fight about. So like, I keep like every time I want to buy like a new piece of furniture, I'm like, why am I buying this? Because it's not gonna stick with me, you know. Like I'm constantly living.
Damn.
Yeah,
That sucks.
I'm constantly living in like the possible future. You see what I mean?
Wait,
But
how many more years in America until like goodbye and then you go by yourself? Like how long would you be in America for?
Nick's in chat sweating.
Are you muted?
We'll see.
Oh, okay, we didn't
said
hear
we'll
you.
see.
We'll see, she says.
Damn.
Wait, that like he wouldn't come with you, or like y'all wouldn't long distance?
He's very selfish. He's very selfish. He really like just likes his Whataburger, and he has a 640 horsepower car, and if he could not have that in Norway. You know what I mean?
God. Here we go.
It's like it would cost 3 times as much.
I feel the anger.
Too poor to have a nice car in EU, Nick. In your face.
I remember the last fight we had. Okay, so Matt and our schedules are shit. Well, my schedule is pretty normal. I go to bed at like 11 to maybe 1 a.m. and then I wake up at like 8 to 8:30. And then Matt goes to bed at like 5:30 a.m. or 6, and then he wakes up at like 2 or 3. So, and then he goes live at I don't know, 4 or 5 or something. So there's not much time where he's either not streaming when we're both awake and not streaming, because he's either streaming or sleeping, and then I'm sleeping like when he's awake. Anyway, so we tried to schedule a date night once a week so that we could spend time together, because when we don't, it just builds up, you know, like I just start resenting him because I don't spend enough time with him.
That's really smart. I do the same thing.
Right.
But I forget to schedule the week. Yeah.
So we've scheduled it. There you go, Melena. I put it in my calendar, which he doesn't give a shit about my calendar. I wish it about my calendar. And so I put it in my calendar, and the first time we tried to do it, he was on the phone with tips out for 5 hours on Discord, so we didn't do it. And then the next week, S-Fan came over and talked about WoW for 5 hours, so we didn't do it. I was pissed.
Fucking.
As in, didn't do date night or didn't bang? Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, we didn't even hang out. By the time he was done talking to Tips or S-Fan, I was asleep. And then we did the whole thing again. He came to bed at 5:30, woke up, streamed. Yeah.
So he had a date night with S-Fan, and you went to bed.
Yeah. I get really pissy about stuff like that too, though, because Alec does a similar thing where like we're supposed to, whenever like date night is not respected, I get very irritated. Because it's also like, if you would have just told me, I would have done something fun. But like, don't make me wait for you.
Yeah, I schedule it in, you know?
Yeah.
That's also one thing I just fucking hate, when people lay plans for you and don't tell you about it. Like, me and Maya are #1 victims of this. Like, there will be OTK events and they won't tell us about it, right? But I have made other plans that day, which means I have to cancel on my plans always, and they don't tell us before the day of or the day before that is supposed to happen. And Maya also has like a super full schedule at all times. Like it's just fucking disrespectful to lay plans for you, and then they get upset if you don't come, like you have some type of obligation to be there. It is infuriating and disrespectful.
Kuti, are you familiar with OTK? Yeah, okay. So exactly what Melena's talking about. I twice have found out that I'm involved in an OTK event by seeing the Twitter graphic posted saying like the event is in 2 hours, you know, or it's tomorrow, you know. Like that's how I found out that I was supposed to be there. Like no one told me. And then I told them, I was like, I need 24 hours notice at least, like to put it in my schedule, and it just doesn't work out. So yeah, that's annoying. But what are you gonna do?
Well, I mean, that sounds fixable. Whose job is it to coordinate those events?
Melena? I don't know. Rich?
I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but it should be just like when you go to bed with someone at the same time that night, just fucking open your mouth and tell me like, hey, 1 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to Clipped.
Miz can't even do that because he doesn't even know that it's happening. Because he doesn't have a schedule. He just lives like moment to moment, and he doesn't care when there's an event, you know, unless it's like schooled or something, like on his stream. He doesn't even know until Sinak comes over and he's like, all right, like load up in the car, you know.
DK not have like a Google calendar for all your stuff?
You think we're actual adults? We accidentally fell into
This
this.
sounds like a great idea. The Google Calendar sounds good.
Just do the one thing. Yeah.
They don't have it.
I think that's a good idea of us to have a shared Google Calendar with notifications for whoever has to be involved. But that's too much for any streamer to do for other people, because usually streamers just do things for themselves or get other people to do it for them.
Synac, please make
Synac
a Google
actually
Calendar.
does try. Synac tries to add us in Discord.
I think Synac's the best. I think Synac's great.
Matt would be dead without Synac. Synac
If
is
I ever
his
need
manager.
anything from Mizkif, I literally just won't message Miz. I'll just message Synac. And I'm like, yo, I remember I needed your address to send you wine for Christmas, Maya, and I just messaged Synac. I was like, he'll reply faster than Miz. I think our last fight, I don't know. We have lots of mini fights where it's like me saying, hey, this isn't okay, and then Ludwig being like, yeah, you're right. And then I'm like, okay. Like, so he got a tattoo of his roommate's name on his leg, which is very cool. It's very cool.
Really cool.
But as he's at his tattoo appointment, I said, hey, send me pictures. Like, I want to see it. And then I think I said something like, I'm going to say verbatim, because I have a hard time. I exaggerate sometimes. And he would be really mad if I said this out of context and I didn't give him as much credit. So let me scroll. I said, keep me updated, send me pictures of the tattoo when done. But in my brain, I was like, I'm going to be so pissed if he goes live and he's like, look at my tattoo, and then his stream sees it before me. Because there's a lot of things in life that sometimes stream learns before me, and I find that very, very disrespectful. And then he doesn't send it to me and instead posts it on Twitter. And so then I have to send him a screenshot of the Twitter and be like, okay, for the love of God, I hate this. Like, it's not okay to update your social media before you update me, because it means that your social media is more important to show things to than like your current life partner. But then he's really, really good at taking accountability. So he was just like, hey, I'm sorry. I understand that it comes off that way.
Matt. It's so annoying. I know it's not. It's good, but like you bring something to them and you're like, you did this and it made me really upset, and they're like, oh, okay, sorry, I won't do it again. And then it's like, no, I'm still mad. Like, I still feel like fighting. Why are we done? Yeah. But they're just like, got it. Like, good to go.
Yeah, they're really good at that. I think that's why most of the times when I've been really frustrated, and Ludwig just takes accountability, I feel like I text Maya actually, and I'm like, I'm mad.
And I'm like, okay, do it again. Like, take accountability again. Let me keep coming at you so you can keep saying what. Oh my god. Yeah, Kuti and I talk a lot of shit. Sorry, Lud.
We just need to. It is weird. Why is that? I mean, Maya and I are the same way, where I feel like people need to take accountability over and over again until like I feel like they've taken accountability. Do Melena or Miss K, do you do that?
Do I feel like they're
so sorry. Oh, you're okay. Melena, do you ever do that?
Do what?
Like, feel like people need to. I think Maya and I have that complex. We talked about it with Hot Tub Streams, where we just like want people to take accountability.
Yeah, I don't know. My brain right now is a microwave. I'm hearing like half.
I just spilled coffee on me. Oh, you're okay.
The stuff, and I'm worried about Dr. K being beat up by his wife right now for not bringing the margarita.
Yeah, she's gonna fuck him up. Wait, does she have? No.
Where's the margarita?
Where's the margarita?
When I was asking, he's like, oh, they're using the blender. I'm like, I'll just take it on the rocks. And he was like, no, we're doing blended. So that's going to to be a fight.
Okay.
The children are using a blender.
I don't know. Because we're at my parents' house for Mother's Day. So I think they're like making something.
I see.
Okay. Yeah. That's good.
His mom's here. My mom's here.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
I would be way too scared for that to ever
Wait, have
happen.
they ever met? Your parents and Nick's parents?
No.
Damn. Kuti, have your guys' parents met? Mine haven't either. Interesting.
Yeah. So, do you like your in-laws? Do they like you? You can whisper if you need.
They like me.
Oh my god.
They like me. I like them too. It's just a lot. Especially because of like the COVID thing, right? Where it's like this was my bubble. Which like is I hope it's not like too desperate, but it's so nice to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm talking to like my little bubble of like healthy fighting. So it's nice to like talk shit every once in a while.
We're
If
here
you
to
ever
talk
need to be
shit.
rational, let us know. Yeah.
We'll do for sure. Because it's so. Oh yes, I totally hear what you're saying, but how frustrating it is when you're like, I've got a bomb. Don't just defuse it. It needs to go off.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, no, they like me.
Nintendo was shot by Skeleton.
Mizkif.